Hello and welcome to Zgermanguy Reviews. I'm Zgermanguy. And welcome back, my friends, to another edition of Kingdom Hearts, a retrospective. We return to Sora's side of the story, with him visiting the land of Musketeers. In it, Mickey, Donald and Goofy. Okay, now I'm getting really pissed off about the fact that they don't follow their own rules. Like, I presume that the land of Musketeers is meant as Disney Castle, somewhere in the past.
But I'm not in Disney Castle.
And fuck you too! How does any of this make any sense? So, I guess, contrary to what Yen Sid said, people don't have to be asleep to be in the sleeping world. Or is it like an unconscious dream? And it seems the sleeping worlds dream about random points in time as well, and not, as I first assumed, about its last peaceful moments right before the Heartless attacked. But how can Mickey and his friends be here if they are not even part of this world? Or, to put it another way, were swallowed by the darkness when everybody else was. But let's say they have been to this world before, and they got out safe before that even happened, so they were not even touched by the darkness in the first place. Would it then not make as much sense to see a dream version of Aqua, Terra and Ventus here somewhere? It would even make more sense for them to be here other than Mickey, because both Ansem, Seeker of Darkness and Xemnas were both corrupted versions of Terra and were bathed in the light after their defeat, just like the reborn worlds were, and Ventus is literally asleep, so why don't they get dream copies? And if we get all technical, shouldn't even Riku and Sora have dream copies walking around? Oh, don't tell me you never thought about it before. It would have been so much simpler for everyone involved if they just had said, the sleeping worlds are a different realm that takes bits and pieces from the real world and puts them back together in random ways, and now it's in danger because the darkness is invading. Done. But no, they had to create these laws that they don't apply consistently for 1 second and are way too convoluted and confusing for anyone to understand. God, my nerves.
I don't get it.
Aside from that, the Three Musketeers? I will admit it's one of the few fine-ish direct-to-DVD movies from Disney, but that's all I can say about it. Why are they so reluctant to go for other huge great titles like Atlantis or Treasure Planet? Maybe they were expecting Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out much earlier and they had to fill in the gaps with mediocre titles? But yeah, to be fair, I guess if they have to use all of Disney media at some point, then I'd rather have this one in a spin-off title rather than in a mainline game. Oh god, I have spent an entire page ranting and I haven't even started a video properly yet. Oh. We are reaching the end of the game. That explains a lot. Anyway, these versions of Donald and Goofy are far from being brave and talented warriors.
Let's go get him, Goofy!
And they struggle with fighting just one measly Dream Eater. Mickey, already knowing what a Keyblade is, tells us that he is here on a secret mission. However, before he can explain, more dark creatures attack. You just want to make me angry, don't you? Later that day, Sora realizes it has no use to try and make them explain about their long-lasting friendship in another time and place, so he pretends that this is the first time he is meeting them. Which in a way it is. The original trio wants to return to their posts. Sora offers his help to be the fourth musketeer, and they allow it. And I just realized, yeah, why didn't they have a fourth in the Disney adaptation? Because we all know Disney is all about accuracy. After doing the all for one and one for all meme, we return to Captain Pete and Princess Minnie. Yay, another can of worms opens. So, the only way this can be explained logically is that both Minnie and Pete immigrated from the country of musketeers to Disney Castle. But this is dumb for another reason. Spoiler, Pete is a really bad guy in this. So what? Did after Pete in the past attempting to murder Minnie got off with a warning, but in the future, oh God help him, he tried to ruin the town festivities that the Queen has worked so hard for? Or is the sleeping world just making shit up and only some events actually happened and others didn't? Oh fuck, getting a medical doctorate while establishing a colony on Mars is easier than this. Pete gives the three goofballs a job, to be the princess's bodyguards. They get into the royal carriage, pulled by the gayest horses on the planet, and we are on for a surprise visit from a dino dream eater. Please, a more appropriate clip for this occasion. Sora is being shaken up a little, but other than that, nothing more severe. However, there are even more bad guys around. And just to put an emphasis on this, bloodthirsty 50-ton lizard ramming us, no problem. Guy throwing his foil at us, oh crap, my old nemesis, imbalance! The other three catch up with us, also walking the walk of the defeated, and we patch ourselves up again and run after Her Majesty. We find Minnie's carriage and a nearby tower, the only place where the kidnappers could have gone to. After sucker punching the Beagle Boys, yes, they are meant to be them, although again, where's number 4 and 5 and 6 and 7? And don't you forget Grandma, you can't do crime without Granny's love. However, the baddies also get up again very quick, but we are saved by Mickey and Goofy using their cartoon superpowers. That is, they unintentionally knock them into the river. I want them baking a cake, tripping and then smashing it into somebody's face to be a finisher in the future. Also, good thing that there was a tree nearby to throw you back in. Didn't look like Goofy was looking outside before he jumped there. Seems like there might be a suicide epidemic in the Disney world, but all attempts are always unsuccessful. What I really love about this world are these short comic strips that appear in no other level. It's a QuickTime event that, when successful, does a lot of damage. I don't think there was anything similar special and unique in the other places. So why did you put it in the most unremarkable movie that you had? Pete decides to do the job his minions couldn't and tries to drown Mickey Mouse like a rat. We get him back and give the boys a pep talk so that they are brave enough to overcome Pete's trap he set up for us. But don't you put him in another dimension, guys. That's only for when you are annoying at the carnival. We save the little mouse, and after we are made official musketeers by Minnie, we switch once again over to Riku, whose adventure begins at the opera right away. He sees Pete looking around the place, not at all suspiciously, and knowing that no matter which world or incarnation, this cat always means trouble.
Everything that exists has a specific nature. Each entity exists as something in particular and has characteristics that are part of what it is. A is A. And no matter what reality he calls home, Luthor is Luthor.
Riku watches as Pete is testing out his trap for our heroes. Now I want a behind the scenes villains edition. In the storage room, Riku is able to find and free Minnie. She tells us to retrieve a little gadget from the Beagle Boys to make their trap useless. Being a loyal supporter of the monarchy, he does so and in the process gets rid of another Dream Eater, with a focus on teleportation magic. The trap is stopped. Then we get a conversation that is only meant to make Riku say the Musketeer slogan. Because you can't have him here and not say the line, what are you, crazy? Oh, and good news. For the bad guys. Yen-Sid is told by Axel that Xehanort is influencing the exam somehow. And even better, Yen-Sid and Mitzi already lost Sora's location. You have to understand, I'm way too busy stroking my beard all the time to be useful in any shape or form. And now we enter one of my favorite worlds from one of my favorite movies of all time, Disney's Fantasia. As BioShock has already shown, nothing is better than murdering a bunch of evil dudes with classical music in the background. But how do they manage to pull off a world about a movie that had at best a bunch of smaller disconnected plots? Well, this world is a bit easier to explain than the other ones in that regard. All the events and places seen in the movie are in this game part of Mickey's dream of being a mighty wizard that he had when he began his time with Master Yen-Sid at the Mysterious Tower. But didn't he come to Master Yen-Sid in order to become a Keyblade wielder and not a magician? Or was that his first job idea, and then he gave up when he realized that he had no talent for it, and chose the next best career path at the academy? Also, if a dream of a world can become a real world, does that mean there are literally billions of dreamed up realms, including every single child having his or her own personal planet-sized kingdom made out of candy? Anyway, just like the movie, Mickey is flooding the tower by accident. But only in Riku's version. Yeah, need any more proof that life is playing favorites and kicking those in the balls whose faces it can't stand?
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
The fact of the matter is, however, that Mickey has to be woken up regardless. Woken up to a world that itself is asleep. You know, this clip.
Look, if we can get the fire department into the counselor's dream, then we can jump everyone down at least another 6 dream levels. That way we'll be in the counselor's deepest level of subconscious. And it will be like a taco inside a taco within a Taco Bell that's inside a KFC within a mall that's inside your dream!
But Mickey won't wake up that easily because he is under the spell of the Dream Eater that the kids from The World Ends With You had a mission for. Wait, did they actually remember that you can have the different worlds interact with one another? Call the Pope, a miracle just happened. Oh, it's not much. It's barely anything. But in a series that is all about how everything is connected, yet ironically keeps all its different characters apart from one another as if it was the freaking segregation, this feels like Crisis on Infinite Earths. So we can finish this plot thread too, which is nice, I guess. But first, we get our butts through a bunch of worlds and find a sound idea. Get it? 'Cause it's a purely musical world based on a purely musical movie. Hey, and while you're at it, make a trip to the world of Brutal Legend. They can teach you how to turn music into real power. We get insulted by the still nameless guy, and then we bring back the sound idea back to Mickey, where we damage the curse at least enough so that we can go head to head with the evil bird witch guy. We first follow him on a road made out of stars and give him the rest when he has no chance of running away again, finishing him off in a vortex of colorful stuff surrounded by the brilliant scores of The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Paul Dukas. There is a new nutcracker in town, and his name is Sora. That was a musician joke. Mickey wakes up, goes back to work, and doesn't even have to receive any punishment by Yen-Sid. Though there is a huge book in KH2 that, when you take a closer look at it, says, a collection of all the king's misbehavings. Mickey was a punk in his youth. Meanwhile, Riku has to go to the same trouble, but a little bit more than Sora just did, because he has to fight against the devil. Why don't they give us more adult stuff like this? Boobies, for example, which were in the original movie. Oh yeah, another thing. Sora didn't have to deal with cold weather in his version. You know, cause Riku is a very brooding guy, so what could be more fitting? Well, maybe he likes rainy days and fog too, you inconsiderate asshole world. We defeated Lord of Darkness, a very ironic title given that he doesn't even rank 5th place in the Rogues Gallery in this universe. But before that, the silver-haired man without a name reminds the other silver-haired guy with a name about his past.
Yes, the boy chosen by the Keyblade, Riku.
What?
It was yours first, wasn't it? But you succumbed to the darkness you could not control. And your prize, the Keyblade, passed on to Sora instead.
Also, one thing I always meant to correct myself on, which I never did up until this point, in my original run of the series, in part 5 to be exact, I said that Sora said, "But no matter what happens, deep down there is always a light that will never ever go dark." When in fact what he actually said was this immortal line.
I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
This was a huge oops and puts my Kingdom Hearts fan credentials highly into doubt. But in my defense, you can only hear the same message over and over again until you start to mix them up. Meaning what Riku said all the way back in Kingdom Hearts 1 about us just being a delivery boy was true. Or at least Sora was the Keyblade's second best choice, but Riku went bad before that. Which sounds like an incredibly cool idea for an alternative universe what-if story. Oh my god, you could even make it so that Sora, because of this event and the loss of the Keyblade, ends up as the main bad guy. You know, a sort of I was meant to be the hero kind of thing. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, we cut back to the mysterious tower where Yen Sid begins to explain a very, 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 very dumb thing.
Well, if we are running on the assumption Xehanort knew what we were planning, then he still would need to have been there. Back in the very place and time when the Destiny Islands were lost to darkness.
We will finish this next time. Zgermanguy out and auf Wiedersehen.